Web3 Bridge Cohort 9, sponsored by Base.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Konyeri Joshua, and today I'm going to be talking about also the basics of the blockchain, but I'm going to be talking about accounts first. So, account is an entity on the blockchain that stores assets and is able to transfer assets or funds from one account to another, and also has the ability to interact with smart contracts. And we have two types of accounts. We have externally owned accounts, which are like human accounts, just like you and I, and we have smart contracts accounts, which we'll talk about later. The difference between those two accounts is that, creating an externally owned account actually is free, actually doesn't cost anything. But creating a smart contract account does cost something because you're actually consuming space on the blockchain. So creating a smart contract will cost something, but not too much, but it actually does cost something. So transferring from an EOA, I'm going to be saying EOA now because it's actually a short form of externally owned accounts. So transferring from EOA to another EOA account is most transferring things like tokens, ETH, and some other valuable assets. Interacting with the blockchain is actually calling a function like a program code, you know what I'm saying. And a EOA actually initiates transaction, while the smart contract waits for the response of the transaction to actually make its next step. So it actually needs an EOA to give it an action before it actually executes. And I've been talking about transactions, so let me just give you what transaction actually means. So the transaction is an action initiated by an EOA, and it actually causes the state of the blockchain to change. So we actually have three types of transactions. We have regular transaction, we have contract deployment transaction, and we have execution transaction. So what are regular transactions? Regular transactions are, for example, transaction between an EOA and another EOA. So transaction from James' account to Belumi's account, as easy as that. Contract deployment transaction is a transaction where a contract is being deployed to the blockchain. Where I talked about it consuming space, and then it actually you have to pay some amount of Ether to actually deploy your smart contract. And I talked about the next transaction type is execution transaction. This is where you actually make a function call or a message call from that smart contract that has already been deployed. So those are the three types of transactions that we have. And I'll just give you a concise process of the transaction life cycle. So the beginning, or where it starts from, is that a transaction hash is cryptographically created, and after that hash is created, it kind of broadcasts the news to other nodes. Because I spoke about nodes in my last video, so broadcast to other nodes where they have a copy of the blockchain, so they get alerted that a transaction is about to be created. And so after they are alerted, the transaction is then put in a mempool. So a mempool is where transactions awaiting validations are kept and stored. So after a while, the validator then picks up a transaction and adds it to a block. And after it adds it to a block, then it is validated. Then the block that contains your transaction, because it contains other people's transactions, so it takes a while, so it then upgrades from justified to finalized. But because I said it takes a while, doesn't mean that the transaction doesn't register as successful. It actually registers as successful, but before it's agreed upon that this is the final stage of this block, it takes a little bit of time. And so before I finish, I would just like to talk about decentralized applications, because that is the most exciting thing about Web3 today. So decentralized application, let me just give you like the structure of a decentralized application. So many of you have used Web2 applications, so and some of you are developers, so you have like an e-commerce site. So think about it as you are interacting with the e-commerce site, you purchase stuff, you do stuff. That's the user interface. So behind the user interface, we have what we call JSON RPCs. So JSON RPCs in Web2 space are like APIs where where you interact with an external database. So JSON RPC, what it does is that it connects you with a node. The node I've been telling you about, it connects you with the node, and after it connects you with the node, the transaction that you make is being registered on the node and executed on the EVM. And after it's on the EVM, your transaction now gets stored on the blockchain. So that's why I'm here to tell you about decentralized application and how transactions and everything work. So I'm going to be closing today's video, and thank you very much. Please do like and share my video. Thank you. Bye bye.
Web3 Bridge Cohort 9, sponsored by Base.